My former friend revisits our past relationship after a decade. What's the best way to react? TLDR, ex-friend Facebook messaged me asking why she wasn't good enough for me after running into each other over 10 years later. We're both married with children of our own. How to respond to her messages. So this will be a weird one. I made a throwaway for it as I think this is a pretty unique situation that the person in question could very easily figure out is about them, and I don't want them knowing my main. If they even use Reddit. I 35 am happily married with 2 children. My wife 32F and I have been together for 8 years, married for 4. We were out shopping in our hometown when we ran into my ex-friend, her parents and her children. She moved out of state over 10 years ago and I haven't seen her since, nor have we had any contact other than Facebook happy birthday wishes. She is married with 2 kids of her own. Anyway, on to the situation. My Phil and her father are friendly with each other. Both retired military and occasionally have breakfast together with their other retired friends. When we ran into each other, ex-friend's dad congratulated my wife and I. We figured my Phil told him we're expecting our 3rd child. I saw my ex-friend look at my wife's belly and then acted distant for the rest of the exchange, whereas she was friendly starting off. We trade pleasantries and say goodbye. My wife and I continue about our shopping. By the time we're done, I check my phone and see I have a Facebook message from ex-friend. XF, it was good to see you again. Me, you too. The family looks good. XF, yours too. Would you want to grab coffee and catch up? I'm in town for a couple more days. Me, we're actually pretty busy, otherwise I would be down. I'm sorry XF, I understand. Adulting. Can I ask you a question? Me, sure. What's up? XF, was I just not your type? Me, what do you mean XF? I'm asking what did I do wrong? Me. Didn't respond as this was out of nowhere. XF, I pursued you for years. We were inseparable for years and you never gave us a real chance. I loved you. Our families loved us. Our friends loved us together. You just never committed all the way to us. You wouldn't even have sex with me and I need to know why? Was I not good enough? Could you not see yourself married to me and having a family together? I didn't respond and I showed the messages to my wife. She knows of this girl and my reasoning for her and I growing apart, mostly because we see her family everywhere, and she asked. My wife told me to be honest with her. But I'm not sure if that's right. It feels mean. I'm going to give my POV on our friendship and I'm hoping I can get some advice on where to go from here. Basically, she and I met through friends in high school. I was very interested, but she was dating someone at the time. She ended up asking me out a month or so later and we went on dates and kissed a few times, though we never had the conversation on being official, hence me calling her friend and not girlfriend. One night while riding in the car, her who I thought was ex-BF called her and asked when she'd be over. She didn't have it on speaker, but I could still hear the conversation. She told him I can't talk right now and he asked who she's with. She didn't tell him. He later figured it out and messaged me on Facebook asking if I knew they were still together. I apologized and said I didn't and would cut things off. I called her and she started crying, saying she didn't have the courage to tell me they were still together, but she liked me so much and was going to break up with him. I cut her off anyway. Fast forward a few more months and she reaches out. And we go through the same motions. Her wanting to be with me but always having another guy messaging her that I would catch out of the corner of my eye. This lasted embarrassingly years. Throughout college and our early 20s it was always the same. She'd reach out, we'd reconnect and things begin getting serious again. I'd check her social media and see she just broke up with someone. We even went on vacation to the mountains together for a weekend and the same thing. She had literally just been there a month ago with her ex. The trip with me was her idea. The worst part is both our families really did love us together. My parents were never rude to my girlfriends but would ask me how XF is doing these days. Or snide remarks about how her parents miss me. Hell, even my now Phil at one point mentioned that ex's dad brought up how he really thought I'd be his son one day. I confided in my friends years ago that I'm always just a rebound or backup plan and that's why I could never commit or get more physical with her. They told me to just sleep with her when she comes calling and don't pursue anything more. The problem was I wanted more but felt used. Anyways, every time we would plan things out where sex was more than likely on the table, I'd see a guy message her or I'd see a post on social media and it just killed my enthusiasm. When I say that I mean literally. It crushed my confidence every single time. One of my best friends told me I didn't have to pay attention to all that and could have just had my fun with her. Didn't mean I had to chase a relationship with her knowing I was always a rebound. That felt shitty to me. I had other girlfriends here and there, but I wanted this girl. We just clicked, you know? But it's like some sort of goddamn mystical being was showing me a sign every single time things were going to progress our relationship. I just didn't want her to be getting over someone else or having someone on back burner when we'd reconnect. Maybe that's my own insecurity, but I know how I felt and it didn't feel good. So I slowly distanced myself. After a short amount of time passed, I met my wife. She met her husband and our lives moved on with little to no contact until the other day. I haven't responded to the message and it's been 2 days. I was thinking of just lying and saying it's not her fault or just not responding, but my wife is insisting I tell her the whole thing. I know this is a word wall, but I'm honestly conflicted. I told my wife I was going to ask others for their opinion and I'm considering the internet as my others.